7:30 p.m. You give credit where it's due, okay? I don't know if it's a ton of credit that's due, but some credit is due to UNC for how they've reacted their last two games, specifically on the defensive side of the ball. They ended up a fumble on the goal line against Cal, and I mean, how many centimeters do you consider them short of getting the 2-point conversion against UVA to upset a ranked opponent?
Count them on one hand.
Yeah, that's the difference between them winning their last two games and being where they are now, having no power conference victories and everybody piling on. This feels. And I'm just gonna raise my hand and say I might be too close, right? I cover this team. I watch every game. There are players on the team that I am a fan of, that I like the way they play. I like the way they've carried themselves through this roller coaster of a season. Jordan Shipp amongst them, Will Hardy, the safety, amongst them. Like, there are players that I really enjoy watching. It feels right now as if they've taken big steps forward that the casual fan hasn't noticed because they haven't added up to wins yet. The last two games, the game at Cal and the game at against UVA, and the Virginia game, they came in as one of the best offenses in the ACC, scored 10 points in regulation. Like, there's something to build off of there. At Syracuse might be their best chance to get a power conference win. The urgency tonight for UNC has to be great in order to take the steps forward that they have made and convert that into something tangible that others will notice. Because I'll tell you right now, there are articles, there are think pieces, there are blogs in drafts right now all across the country that they're just waiting to hit send, that talk about everything negative about UNC. There was one this morning, The Ringer. The Ringer put out an article, and it didn't make a ton of sense to me. I'll explain why. The headline, matter of fact, I tweeted it out so I can go bring up the exact headline so I'm not misquoting it all. The headline, goodness gracious, it's worse than I remember. No one is having a worse time than Bill Belichick. That is the name of the article. No one is having a worse time than Bill Belichick. Now, that's not the most ridiculous take based on how things have gone since he went to UNC. And me, being somebody that covers the team, I was like, I got to click it. I got to see what they know. I got to know what sources say. Click on it. Their evidence was he was short and terse with the media after last game, and they haven't won a lot. Like, that's essentially, you can read the article. Go read it for yourself. Like, tell me if my context is wrong, because I read the whole thing, and that's what I took away from it. And I'm going like, that's what you're doing? Bill Belichick could have won back-to-back Super Bowls. He's going to be short and terse with the media. Like, that's your show? That's your evidence? Or is it just cool right now to pile on with UNC? If you want to do real reporting and you want to go find sources and you want to have like legit factual evidence that says there's dysfunction in the program, I want to hear that. If you think a bunch of other people have said how bad it is and you just think it's fun and they haven't won a game yet, so you're going to go ahead and say, oh, Bill Belichick doesn't smile on the sideline, as if that's not what he's been for the last half century. If Bill Belichick was Pete Carroll his entire career, and then he's at UNC and after a loss they ask him who was the primary receiver and he said whoever's open, then yeah, we could compare that. But Bill Belichick, like, my guess is when they threw the Super Bowl winning pass to Danny Amendola and who was Brady's number one, he would have went whoever's open. Like, that's who he is. It hasn't gone well, don't get me wrong, but there is a pile-on that's happening right now. There is a pile-on. And I'm looking at the last two games going, has anyone noticed that their defense is playing kind of lights out right now? At least for two games. Offense, probably playing equally as bad as their defense has improved, but defensively, they're playing pretty lights out over the last two games. Is that the biggest sample size in the world? No. Absolutely not. But is it something you can hang your hat on going into a game against Syracuse, who, by the way, Syracuse football, not what they were a season ago. Syracuse football, I'll even add this, they're dabbling in Florida State territory. Not like Florida State under Bobby Bowden with Peter Warwick. No, I'm talking about like the last 4 years of Florida State, which is they try to rebuild their entire roster in the transfer portal each year, and it's like hit or miss, right? You could rebuild you could have Trey Benson, future NFL running back, and Keon Coleman, future NFL receiver, and Jordan Travis, and you can grab all these great, was it Jared Verse, the other guy that was drafted by the Rams. I can't think of his name.
Dude's name of dudes over here.
They're all draft picks, okay?
Yeah.
And they all came in the transfer portal, and they went undefeated and should have been CFP and weren't. The last 2 years, they've done the same thing, gone in the portal, brought in a bunch of dudes. They're not, right? It's DJ Uiagalelei. It's guys that didn't add up to draft picks, and they've stunk. Syracuse last year, they brought in Kyle McCord. They brought in this guy. They brought in that guy, and it worked out really well, and Syracuse was one of the surprises of the year. This year hasn't worked out as well, and their quarterback got hurt, and they haven't been able to sustain it. So they've lost their last 4 games, right? A team that is an offense that is known for putting up points has scored in their last 4 games 3 points against Duke, 18 against SMU, 13 against Pitt, and 16 against Georgia Tech, and I'll just say their defense has allowed significantly more than each of those. It is well within the realm of possibility, or well within the realm of logic to say, of the 2 teams coming into this game, UNC is the hotter team right now. UNC has more momentum right now. No one's ever going to say that, right? Because that's not cool, and that has nothing to do with making fun of Bill Belichick's youthful relationship, right? That's what everyone is doing, but this might be one of those things where if you pay attention, there's some things changing, and not everybody else has realized it yet. You know, it's like let me try to think of the golf example. Golf's so good for analogies. It's like somebody who's not putting well, but is reaching the green in regulation forever, like just pounding it down the middle, good approach shot. And you go, you know what? If they can put their putting together just a little bit, they're going to be winning tournaments. Everybody else is just looking at the scorecard and going, they stink. It's a bogey. It's a bogey. It's a double bogey. And you're like, yeah, but he's averaging 3.5 putts a hole. That's kind of the way I'm looking at UNC. Their defense is playing well enough that if their offense can just be average, if they can just find a way, I don't care if it's a gimmick, if they go full wildcat and snap it to the running back every play, if it's all trick plays, they just have to find some way to put up 20 points a game. And I'm not asking for 30, 20 points a game, and they might have something.
It is interesting these last 2 games, like you say. We've seen the improvement on the defensive side of the ball, on one side of the ball, but the offense has still just been completely stagnant. It is really wild to see that only one side of the ball we've seen really true marked improvement.
Can I ask you 2 questions?
Go on.
Who's coaching the offense and who's coaching the defense?
Is that a trick question?
When you have a Belichick or 3, I'm going to expect the defense to get better quick.
You would anticipate
much more quickly than I would a Freddie Kitchens-led offense. And
fair point.
By the way, Freddie Kitchens, you can take that as an insult as you want, but there's a lot of coaches out there that would come up short to the Belichicks on defense. Like, I'm not surprised the defense is getting better. I would like to see significantly more improvement from the offense, but it is what it is. Syracuse maybe equally as struggling, which is